Well, President Biden quadrupling the migrant admissions cap, raising it from 15,000 to 62,500.
Yeah, this is an official about phase from his announcement 2 weeks ago that he would keep that cap imposed by President Trump there at 15,000. It's not anymore. In a statement, Biden said the action, quote, erases the historically low number set by the previous administration, which did not reflect America's values, end quote.
But the higher number was the Biden plan from the beginning. Of course, until we saw what's happening at the border right now, getting out of control, he delayed raising the cap. For more on this story, we want to bring in our panelists, Kelly Hyman, Dino Scaros, and Rick Gates. Kelly, we'll start with you here. Again, this number only increased after the far left members of the Democrat Party really pressured President Biden to increase the cap. What made you think that he actually did decide to do so? Was it their pressure?
Well, I think we have to think and remember that we are a country built on immigrants. And we have to remember that refugees are coming to this country because they are seeking prosecution, war, some kind of disaster, and they are highly vetted medically as well. And so, but I think it's important to remember that the 15,000 imposed by Trump was historically very low. And so that's why Biden did decide to increase it.
I would ask for the response here from Dino Scaros on that.
Sure. There are 2 points. Number one, there's a longstanding principle in immigration called overloading the boat. So imagine that you're on a boat that can hold only 50 people and you're sailing and you come across the Titanic, which has capsized, and there are hundreds of people in the water. You cannot save all of them. It's a sad but true fact. You cannot put them all on the boat. So yeah, I agree that most of these people are good people, but you just can't bring them all in. Number two, some of them are not good people. And I do question the vetting, because who's to say that so-and-so shows up to the border or comes in on a plane and is really that person and is not some diabolical terrorist seeking to wreak havoc here who has stolen the good person's identity.
Rick, some critics could go straight down the middle and take what Kelly said and say, hey, look, we are a nation built on immigrants. But why not keep it in the middle? Jumping times 4, quadrupling the amount. Why not maybe raise it in half? We know we don't have the facilities for it. We've seen that. That's why we've had to take over centers in California and some in Texas and several other states as well, because there are no places to keep them. Number two, we also are in the midst of a pandemic. So while it all sounds good of us being the savior of the entire country, and that's wonderful, but we don't have the infrastructure for that just yet. And we've seen that. And we're not even allowed to, actually, we haven't seen it because they don't let the media in, Rick.
177,000 illegal immigrants came across the border in April. And this idea that we're able to support that in addition to now 62,500 additional refugees is just irresponsible. And I think if you look at, immigration was a signature issue in 2016, and largely and arguably it's why President Trump got elected. It wasn't much of an issue in 2020 because he had put in effective policies that controlled the border to a large extent. Now, moving forward, in 2022, immigration is going to be a signature issue again. And I think it's going to, allow the Republicans to really take back the House, hopefully the Senate. And it's going to be based on this idea that the Democrats have done a very poor job. They have a very bad track record. And it's the one issue that even Democrats say that the Biden administration has failed at. So the idea of raising the cap I think it's a very poor policy decision and a very bad mistake for the Democrats as they move forward into the midterms.
Again, as you say, we're following the record surge at the southern border. Now the refugee cap has been raised as well. This at the same time that there's now a travel ban instated for those traveling to and from India. Of course, that's based on coronavirus concerns and the record surge of people who have been diagnosed positive for COVID over there. Our panelists, Kelly Hyman, Dino Scaros, Rick Gates, thank you all. We're out of time, but we appreciate all of your great insight. Thanks so much.